Round 1. There are 2 objectives on the field. Each faction will try to capture more objectives than their opponent in order to win the battle. The Ratmen will activate first. The Storm Veteran will use a rush action to move and take control of Objective 2. Saurian Warrior 1 will use an advance action and shoot at the Storm Veteran. Carbine is a 2-dice attack with Predator at a quality of 4+, and gets 2 4s. The Storm Veteran has a defense of 4+, and gets a 4 and a 6. Blocks both hits. The Rat Sniper will use an advance action and shoot at the Saurian Warrior 1. The Sniper has a special of slow, so it can't move as far as other units, but the Warrior will just be in range of the Sniper Rifle. Sniper Rifle is a single die attack with AP 1 and a special of Reliable. Reliable upgrade the Sniper's standard quality of 5+ to a 2+, and rolls a 5. The Saurian Warrior has a defense of 4+, and gets a 5. So even with the AP 1 against it, it's still able to block. AP is a modifier from the attacker, which forces the defender to subtract the value of defense rolls. Saurian Warrior 2 will use an advance action and shoot at the Storm Veteran. Carbine is a 2-dice attack with Predator at 4+, and only gets a 1 and a 3. The Rat Warriors are out of range of any combat, so they will use a rush action to get into closer position. Gecko Cohort 1 is also out of range of any combat, and will use a rush action to get into position closer to Objective 1. The Rat Grenadiers will rush behind cover towards the center of the battlefield. The Saurian Guardian will rush and take control of Objective 1. The Ratmen are out of activations, so Gecko Cohort 2 will perform a rush action to get close to the Saurian Guardian. Since the Gecko used a rush action, it will not be able to shoot at the Rat Grenadiers that are in range. That will mark the end of Round 1. The Ratmen were able to control Objective 2 in the first activation. Each faction were able to engage a bit of combat, but no one suffered any losses. Towards the end of the round, the Saurians were able to sneak and grab a victory point for themselves. Ratmen 1, Saurian Star Host 1. If you are enjoying this battle report, please consider giving this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. You can also follow Square Table Union on other social media like Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, and Patreon. Round 2. The Ratmen were first to end all activations in the last round, so they will be first to activate in this round. The Rat Sniper would advance and take another shot at the Saurian Warrior 1. Sniper Rifle, a single dice attack with AP 1 with Reliable at 2+, and rolls a 6. The Saurian Warrior has a defense of 4+, It only gets a 3, minus 1 AP for a result of 2. Rolling for wound check. It gets a 5 plus 1 wound for a total of 6. Whenever a model takes 1 or more wounds, the defender must roll 1 die, adding the number of wounds to the result. A result of 6 or higher removes the models from the game. So the Saurian warrior is knocked out. The remaining Saurian warrior will use an advanced action and shoot at the Storm Veteran. Carbine is a 2 dice attack with Predator at 4+, and only gets 2 2s. The Rat Warriors will charge and attack the Saurian warrior. Hand Weapon is a single die attack per model at 5+. It gets a 1, a 3, and a 6 for 1 hit. The Saurian warrior has a defense of 4+, and only gets a 2. Rolling for wound check. It gets a 2 plus 1 wound for a total of 3. The Saurian warrior is only shaken. Shaken units basically have to hold position for a full round. They get a +1 against them in wound effects rolls, and they can only strike back by rolling 6s because shaken models count as fatigue. The Saurian warrior will attempt to strike back. CCW is a single dice attack at a quality of 6+ because of fatigue, and only gets a 3. The Saurian Guardian will charge into melee with the Rat Grenaders. Hammer is a 2 dice attack with AP 2 with Predator at a quality of 3+. It gets a 2 and a 4 for 1 hit. Their Grenaders have a defense of 5+, minus an AP of 2, so they basically need a roll of 6. Because 6s always succeed regardless of modifiers. It only gets a 5, minus 2 AP for its result of 3. The Rat Grenader unit is a group of models. With groups, you lose 1 model per wound until you get down to the single model, and then you can perform the standard wound checks. The remaining 2 Grenaders will strike back. Hand Weapon is a single die attack per model at 5+. It gets a 1 and a 6 for 1 hit. The Saurian Guardian has a defense of 3+, and easily gets it with a 5. The Rat Veteran will charge north in melee with a Gecko Cohort 2. Heavy Great Weapon is a single die attack with AP 3 at a quality of 4+, and gets it with a 4. The Geckos have a special of Shield Wall, which will give it a +1 bonus to defense rolls. But with a defense of 5+ minus AP 3, it basically will still need a roll of 6. It only gets a 5, +1 for 6, but then minus 3 AP for a final result of 3. Rolling for wound check. It gets a 3 plus 1 wound for a total of 4. The Gecko cohort will be shaken. The Gecko will strike back. Bash is a single die attack at 5+, and gets it with a 6. The Storm Veteran has a defense of 4+, and gets it with a 4. Gecko Cohort 1 will advance south and take a shot at the Storm Veteran. Shock Pistol is a single die attack with AP 4 at a quality of 5+. It gets a 6 for 1 hit. The Storm Veteran has a defense of 4+. It only gets a 1 minus 4 AP for a result of -3. Rolling for wound check. It gets a 4 plus 1 wound for a total of 5. The Storm Veteran is only shaken. Their Grenadiers will advance north and hopefully head towards Objective 1 on the next round, and then turn and grenade a Saurian Guardian. Toxin bombs are a single die attack per model with indirect, poison, and expert thrower at 5+. Indirect and expert thrower basically removes any throwing penalties. It gets a 1 and a 6 for 1 hit. The Saurian Guardian has a defense of 3+. And it rolls a 6, but that activates the Grenadier's poison special, which will force it to re-roll any natural 6s. Rolling again. And it gets a 3, so the Saurian Guardian still blocks the attack. There was definitely some interesting combat in round 2. A couple of losses from each faction, and both factions will also have units that will need to be shaken throughout the next round. Nothing has changed as far as victory points. Ratmen 1, Saurian Star Host 1. Greetings folks, just a quick promotion. Square Table Union now has t-shirts available for purchase. Not only do I have official STU logo merch, I've also designed some fun non-STU specific shirts, like Ink for the Ink God, and 6s always succeed. Link in the video description. Round 3. The Saurians will activate first, and the Saurian Guardian will follow the Rat Grenadiers north and charge into melee. Hammer is a 2 dice attack with AP 2 with Predator at a quality of 3+. It gets 2 5s for 2 hits. Their Grenadiers have a defense of 5+ minus a AP of 2. And it only gets a 2 and a 3, which modifies to a 0 and a 1. Another model will be removed from the Rat Grenadier unit, and with the extra wound, now we will have to roll for wound check. It gets a 1 plus 1 for 2. The Rat Grenadier is only shaken. The lone Rat Grenadier will try to strike back. Hand weapon is a single dice attack at a quality of 6+ because it is shaken. And it only gets a 2. The Rat Sniper would advance and take another shot at the Saurian Warrior. Sniper Rifle is a single die attack with AP 1 with reliable at a quality of 2+. And only rolls a 1. Gecko Cohort 1 will continue to advance south and take another shot at the Storm Veteran. Shock Pistol is a single die attack with AP 4 at a quality of 5+. It gets a 6 for 1 hit. The Storm Veteran has a defense of 4+. It only gets a 3 minus 4 AP for a result of -1. Rolling for wound check. It gets a 1 plus 2 wounds and 1 shaken for a total of 4, and the veteran is still shaken. The Rat Warriors will charge and see if they can eliminate the Saurian Warrior. Hand weapon is a single die attack per model at 5+. It gets 2 3s and 1 6 for 1 hit. The Saurian Warrior has a defense of 4+, and only gets a 1. Rolling for wound check. and gets a 4 plus 2 wounds and 1 shaken for a total of 7. The Saurian warrior is knocked out. That made for a real quick round because several units were shaken and could not activate. Still no changes for victory points. Ratmen 1, Saurian Star Host 1. This is just a quick reminder that most of the models that you see in this video, you can get the 3D print files for free for both Age of Fantasy and Grimdark Future starter sets. Go to onepagerules.com to learn more. Round 4. A few units are free from the shaken effect, so combat might be more interesting in this final round. The Saurians will activate first. The Gecko Cohort 2 will continue to advance north to get some distance and take a shot at the Storm Veteran. Shock Pistol is a single die attack with AP 4 at a quality of 5+, and only gets a 4. The Storm Veteran will chase the Gecko north and charge into melee. Heavy Great Weapon is a single die attack with AP 3 at a quality of 4+, and gets it with a 4. The Gecko has a defense of 5+, and only gets a 2, plus 1 with Shield Wall to make it a 3, but then minus 3 AP for a result of 0. Rolling for wound check, and gets a 5 plus 2 wounds for a total of 7. The Gecko cohort is knocked out. Since the Gecko is destroyed, the veteran gets to move up and challenge for Objective 1. The Saurian Guardian will charge into melee with the Rat Veteran. Hammer is a 2 dice attack with AP 2 at a quality of 3+, and only gets a 1 and a 2. The Storm Veteran will strike back. Heavy Great Weapon is a single die attack with AP 3 at 6+ because of fatigue, and only gets a 1. The Rat Warriors will push north in melee with the Gecko cohort. Hand Weapon is a single dice attack per model at 5+. It gets a 2, a 4, and a 6 for 1 hit. The Gecko has a defense of 5+, and roll a 2, so even with the Shield Wall bonus, it's not enough. Rolling for wound check. It gets a 3 plus 1 for a total of 4, and the Gecko is only shaken. The Gecko will strike back. Bash is a single die attack at 6+ because of shaken, and only gets a 3. For their final activation of the game, the Rat Sniper will advance enough just to get a clear shot and aim at the Saurian Guardian. Sniper Rifle is a single die attack with AP 1 at 2+ with Reliable, and gets a 5. The Guardian has a defense of 3+. Ooh, and only gets a 1, minus 1 AP for a result of 0. Rolling for wound check. It rolls a 2, plus 1 wound for a total of 3. The Saurian Guardian will be shaken, and shaking units cannot hold objectives. So Objective 1 is now in control of the Ratmen. Despite the lack of range attacks, the Ratmen were able to battle the way north and eventually capture and control both objectives. Final score: Ratmen 2, Saurian Star Host 0.